Hey everybody, it's Alfred Parsart Jr. of the Metropolitan Report here with another Metropolitan Report short. Of course, the Metropolitan Report is a proud member of the Grid Network, where you can get a lot of great sports podcasts. And of course, today was opening day. I was very excited to go to opening day. By the way, the blog is going to drop this weekend, where I documented my Mets home opening day, I should say, not the season opening day, but the home opener. And this Mets team that came to play today in Flushing, not the same Mets team that we saw in Milwaukee. The Mets team that struggled for offense in Milwaukee, it's like a case of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Because today against Miami, the Mets practiced two things: patience and power. The Mets got to Miami Marlins starter Edward Cabrera, and it wasn't a great day for Mr. Cabrera whatsoever. Uh, this was a rematch from a week ago: Tyler McGill versus Edward Cabrera. And Cabrera, I guess the Mets just have his number. Of course, Edward Cabrera was thought to be a great prospect for the Miami Marlins a couple of years ago. Since he's been in the show, uh, just hasn't looked good, especially against the Mets. Constantly underperforms against the Mets to the point that he walked 7 batters. The Mets' first run was scored on a bases loaded walk where Cabrera walked the bases loaded and walked the fourth man in to score the run. Now, when I said patience and power, nobody exhibited more patience than Brandon Nimmo. Brandon Nimmo drew 4 walks in this game today. Those 4 walks are the most in a Mets game by one player since J.D. Davis did it in September of 2020. Brandon Nimmo's official line, he did go 0 for 1, doesn't register a hit, but he drew 4 walks to increase his league leading total to 9. He's tied for walks in the National League and in MLB with Miguel Vargas of the Los Angeles Dodgers. I said power was a thing here today in Citi Field. We saw home runs from Starling Marte and Francisco Lindor, the second consecutive Mets home opener. If you remember last year when they opened up against the Diamondbacks, Marte and Lindor both homered in that game against the Arizona Diamondbacks. They both homered in today's home opener, and Pete Alonso joined the party too. He and Lindor went back to back in the 8th inning. Mets win this game 9-3. They had 9 runs on 6 hits with all the walks they drew. The Mets offense looked phenomenal. I gotta tip my hat to the boys today. Again, patience, patience, patience. 7 walks from the starter alone. The Mets were looking good, and then they showcased the power when they needed to. Francisco Alvarez was introduced. He was on the roster for today. However, Alvarez did not play. He did not see an at bat. He started the game on the bench. Tomas Nido got the start from Buck Showalter. He sat on the bench, did not get called for a pinch hit appearance. Tomas Nido did have 1 base hit. He got his first base hit of the season in this game today. However, there's one thing here that I did not like. I know I said the Mets practice patience and power today, but one Met who did neither was Eduardo Escobar. Escobar having a very disappointing start to the 2023 campaign. On the season, he's 2 for 24 with an average of .083. Disgusting numbers. The lowest batting average on the team, other than Tim LeCastro, who every time he walks to the plate gets plunked by a pitch, so we can't blame him for not having a batting average. But Eduardo Escobar, 2 for 24 on the year, a .083 average, just disgusting. And you got to think that Escobar is on borrowed time. I personally think that he's on borrowed time. I said it before on the Metropolitan Report that I think Brett Beatty should have made the team out of camp and been given a bench spot. But Buck cited defense, and Billy Epler cited lack of experience at third and more seasoning for Beatty. But I know Beatty's currently on the IL in Syracuse, but once he gets healthy, Escobar has got to be having veering over his shoulder, having his head on a swivel, and if not, Beatty, maybe even Vientos before Beatty gets healthy, because this Mets team wants to win. Steve Cohen built the team to win, and a guy with Escobar's numbers, that's not winning, folks. And if you're trying to win, have a winning baseball team, you can't have a guy start 2 for 24 for the year a week into the season. It remains to be seen if Escobar will break out of the slump. But, you know, judging by the way his bat speed has looked and his confidence at the plate, I don't think that's going to happen. Again, I feel Escobar is on borrowed time. It's only a matter of time until he gets replaced by either Beatty, Vientos, or a platoon of Beatty and Vientos. But nonetheless, the Mets win the home opener. Great game. We saw 3 players go yard again: Marte, Alonso, Lindor. And of course, we have to give our player of the game, well, my player of the game for today, to Tylor Megill. Of course, for as great as the offense was, you need pitching to shut the other team down, and that's exactly what Tylor Megill did. He pitched a wonderful second start of the season. 6 innings pitched. He gave up no runs on 3 hits. He struck out 3 and walked 2. But still, fantastic job by Tylor Megill. And it's crazy to me to think that Tylor Megill, when the rotation was healthy, and I'm talking about before Verlander went on the injured list, before Quintana went on the injured list, Tylor Megill was on the outside looking in. Matter of fact, even though Tylor Megill started opening day last season for the Mets, he was scheduled to be the Syracuse Mets opening day starter this season. So it's crazy to think a guy who wasn't even factored in to the major league plans to start the season is now undefeated 2-0 with 2 quality starts on the year so far. So Tylor Megill, and I love Megill pitching with confidence. Tylor Megill, of course, made his debut in 2021, and I've seen the confidence improve each and every year since he first got the call up to the show. So Tylor Megill, again, 6 scoreless innings, only allowed 3 hits, and he pitched amazing. The patient, I've never seen a game where one team walked so many times. I know I mentioned that Edward Cabrera, the starter for the Marlins, gave up 7 walks. Overall, the Mets, they ended up walking 12 times in the game. You draw 12 walks in the game, that's pretty patient. So the Mets they really impressed me with their patience at the plate. Great plate discipline. So 12 walks to 11 strikeouts, but hey, this is a different era of baseball. Guys strike out more often, but very rare you see a team draw 12 walks in one game. 7 alone from the starter. Stay tuned to the YouTube, folks, and the social media. You can follow the Metropolitan Report at _Metropolitan_report on Instagram, Metropolitan Report Podcast on Twitter, and of course the Grid GRYD_network on Instagram and Twitter. Stay glued, because we're gonna have that home opener blog. It was a great day, and I've got plenty of great footage to show you guys. So just stay tuned for that, and until the next Metropolitan Report, or Metropolitan Report short, because we don't know what's going to happen this weekend. Plenty of baseball left this weekend. I'll be at the games both tomorrow, and Sunday as well against the Marlins to close out the series. I'm excited. We got Kodai Senga making his home debut. I can't wait. So until next time, folks, let's go Mets.